Hey, how's it going?
Hey Mark, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. It's nice having you
Fantastic.
back to Metal Cows.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's dive straight into my questions.
Okay.
So first of all, what was the motivation to release a best of? It was the best of.
Lack of a new album?
Oh come on, man.
Let's be real. But no, I mean, I think it basically was a good idea to do accumulation of what we've done to that point with AFM and finally getting out to finally tour because of 3 years of delays, so and then basically bringing entering into a new era of Rasta Boss band with AFM, so kind of like a demarking point.
So did the band consider maybe re-recording the songs, especially because the lineup is not the same from the beginning?
I don't think anybody even thought about that. Because if we're going to record, why not just record new stuff?
True, true. I cannot argue with that. So, did
Yeah.
the band have anything to do with choosing the songs?
Ross picked them all.
Okay, it was his
Yep.
fault.
Yep. He picked them, and I kind of like, he ran it by me, and I was just like, yeah, sure.
Was there any song or songs even that you would like to see in the best that you felt stronger?
No, I mean, no, I thought it was a good pick. I mean, I was happy because I wrote, a lot of those tunes myself. So I was like, yeah, that's great.
And I guess it's an age thing. Still, I consider an album that came out in the 2000s a new
Yep.
one, although it's not.
Right.
How does it feel being so long with working with Rose the Boss?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I'm the longest standing member in the Roster Boss Man ever. So that's pretty wild. And, it's always an adventure. We never know what we're going to do. So it's cool. It's always definitely always keeps you on your toes.
What do you mean you don't know what will you do? I mean,
Well, I mean, because from album to album, it's stylistically always something different. You know what I mean? We'll add something or, we'll try some new stuff out, new sounds, new approaches to things. So,
okay. Is there
yeah.
anything that you remember when you think the time that you joined Rose the Boss? That anything that comes out first in mind.
I was like, oh my God, how am I got to do all these Manowar songs.
With that, you did a great job, especially the last time we
Well,
saw you live.
thank you. And it took a while. I mean, it was a trial by fire process for me. I kind of like got into that whole thing really fast and last minute. But I'm grateful for it. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that. So,
And speaking of the Manowar songs, how did you approach or do you approach those songs? Do you try to keep to stay close to the original, or are you trying to add your
well,
own take on
first of
this?
all, no one's imitating Eric Adams. That's one.
That's true.
So
That's true.
that's a lost fucking cause. So basically, my thought process is always, get the money shots in there, and just stay true to the spirit of the song. That's really the only thing you could do. Like sing the songs like if they were your own. And stay true to the source material as much as you can, and just have fun with it. The spirit of the song is really what makes the song so great. You
Yeah,
know.
I didn't mean to compare. You
Oh
cannot
no no no
compare two people, right? You cannot do that.
no, you can't. No, not at all.
So with that, you have announced the Kings of Metal 35th anniversary tour in Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
first of all, are these the only dates you will do, or are you planning to expand on this?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. There's lots of things that are like up in the air. I mean, now that I'm in metal church,
Yes.
definitely changed a lot of things for me. So I don't know. I mean, this whole Kings of Metal thing, I mean, I personally am like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I mean, I love the Kings of Metal record, don't get me wrong, but it's the Ross the Boss band. And it's kind of annoying. I'll be honest. It's kind of annoying. It's like, I know, I love the album and with all due respect, but like we have this best of compilation record and we're not even going to hardly play anything off of it, which is kind of like crazy, but unfortunately promoters and people, they just want to hear the Manowar stuff, which is great. Hey, it makes my life easy because I just, we've been playing those songs for years and it's just, let's go out and have a great time, and that's really what we're going to be about. Let's go out and have a great time,
Well, yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. However, you also, I guess you understand that there has been so many years from those songs, and there have been practically generations of metalheads, and some of those may have not heard these songs even live.
Right, and that I totally respect. And like I said, I mean, I'm totally into it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I'm psyched because we're adding a couple of songs that we've never played before from the Kings of Metal record, which is going to be fun, But, obviously it would be great to be able to play more of our own stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know it. And, this is a better selling point for us to go out and do. Like you said, they're not going to hear this stuff. And, a lot of people, even if you go see Manowar, they're not playing the Kings of Metal stuff like Ross would play it. And that's really what it comes down to, So I totally can appreciate and respect that. But from my point of view, you have to see where we're coming from,
Of course. And although I was looking at the release dates of those Manowar albums, Into Glory Ride has a 14th anniversary this July. So I was thinking, why don't you play? After all, Manowar are not touching this album.
You know what? Oh, and I'm going to get so much shit for this, but that's my least favorite record.
Ooh, we have something to argue.
Yep. That's my least favorite record. My favorite record is Hail to England.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that.
And, but I will be honest. Over the years, I've grown to like Into Glory Ride a lot more than I did at first. It's such a different departure from the other stuff, longer epic songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember I love Secret of Steel. We were playing that for a while. I mean, we'll probably play that on this tour too. I love that song. And Hatred.
Oof.
We were playing Hatred. That was so fun. I loved playing that song so much. So yeah, I mean, it might have been I'm not saying I don't like it. I just was out of all the ones, that was my least favorite one of like as a total. But it's definitely got a great vibe to it.
I believe it was ahead of its time because they have.
Oh yeah, I mean,
there is almost a Doom vibe.
Yeah, so good, good. Yeah.
But at any rate, how many songs are you planning to play from Kings of Metal? You're not gonna do the entire thing, right?
What? No, we're doing. I think the only song we're not playing off of Kings of Metal is Kingdom Come.
Okay.
Only because it has so much production in it. It won't sound right. It doesn't sound right without it, and we don't do production stuff like that, so it would sound very, very hollow, So rather than, I would never want to do a song if it's not going to do its justice,
Correct.
So, but everything else we're doing.
And I have, and since we are being honest and we are sharing stuff, Kingdom Come and Wheels of Fire are probably the songs that I do not like the most in Kings of Metal, to be honest.
No, well, there you go. I love Wheels of Fire because it's thrashy, so. I love that one.
So you have no idea if you will be extending this tour. However,
most likely. Yeah, most likely. I mean, we're definitely going to be extending it, just a matter of how and when,
I wanted to...
Now I'm playing back and forth with Metal Church dates,
Yes, I will. I have questions for that too. Okay. One thing that, even though I think you have already answered, are there any plans for the new Ross the Boss album?
We actually just finished recording a brand new tune, which I thought was just going to be a one-off song to release in celebration of the tour, but now it's leading into, an extension to a new record. So that's in the planning phases now.
Do you know whether you will still release it as a single and a video clip, something like that?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be released as attached, as a lead into this new album. So.
Yeah. And you said you won't be playing it live.
No, not yet. Not yet. I think we might. I think we're going to play it. Was it in July? We're playing Barcelona and Sweden. And I think we're going to play those two shows. So that'll be the debut of it. It's different. It's very different. It's very melodic. It's a little bit different than I expected it to be, but it's still good. It's very power metal-y. But you never know what we're going to do.
You said that. You said that already.
Yeah.
So there have been no discussions, the timeline, when or how, or when, not how. We know that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the scheduling is just really rough. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely try to do what we can.
So how did this Metal Church thing happen? We were so floored by the passing of Mike Howe. So, how did you join Metal Church?
Well, I have been friends with Stet for years, so I already knew Stet for a long time. And then I got to know Steve, the bass player, because he was a fan of my work. So he had, a couple of times out in the Ross tour, he came out to see us and stuff. So I get to know him. Because me and him and Stet were planning on, pulling something together at some point. We were going to do, maybe a single or something, jam out, whatever. You know how that goes when everybody's like, we'll do let's jam, But I had been approached. We had played together with Metal Church in Germany a couple of times on the festivals. Because they have, I got them their sound guy because he was our sound guy. So, kind of came like a little bit of a family unit type of thing, And I had been approached at one point to possibly do some filling stuff because there were some scheduling conflicts at one point or something to do with them. And I was, of course, going, yeah, of course I'll do it. Mike was, still there. I'm like, yeah, obviously if there's not an issue, whatever, yeah. If you need me, I'm here. No big deal if you're not. So that's kind of how the first initial thing started. And then, unfortunately, when Mike passed away, I was like, dealing with mental health issues my whole life, I really felt crushed by that as well, knowing the circumstances. And I for sure thought that Metal Church would not carry on. I was like, there's no way they're gonna keep going because this is just one thing after another. How many times can the band take a hit?
Yeah.
So when I finally get the call of the even thought of it, I was just like, at first I got to be honest, I was a little uncomfortable. I was like, wow, I don't know how I feel about this, But after the conversations and understanding the whole concept behind carrying on, I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. It took a while, it was definitely a long process, because there was still some grieving for them, and very understandably so. So, it started off with, let's do a couple of, versions of a couple of Metal Church songs and see how that goes. And then it went to, here's a couple of, original stuff. Let's see what you can put to it. And then it just went on from there, And we ended up writing a lot of new material that suited me better because the stuff that they had was written for Mike.
Oh, okay.
And it was not heavy at all. It was definitely more hard rock oriented. And I personally didn't feel I fit with that genre that they were going for at the time. So we went into, we went into more the category of the first two records, and that's what we ended up with. And it worked best for me and for the band. And if we were going to go into do a new era of the band, we shouldn't imitate anything that was done before. let's take influences from everything and then put let's put my own spin on it if we're going to do this. And that's what we all agreed to do. So it was, and again, this isn't something that happens so quickly. A lot of people have to understand that. I wasn't like, oh, well, that's done, let's go to this. It was talked about a lot. It was worked on a lot, and it was definitely a process and done with nothing but respect to the legacy of the band,
I understand, Mark, but I would expect someone to be extremely silly or dumb to assume that these things happen in a day. I mean...
Right, exactly. But you never know. You believe it or not, people, some people assume some silly things. So I just wanted to make that obvious.
Oh, of course. And I appreciate you saying that. But people need to understand that the band is like a family sometimes.
Right, exactly.
So when you lose a member, it is tough. And then at the same time, the legacy has to go on.
Right.
So it's really... It makes me uncomfortable even talking about that, man.
Yeah, I know.
But and I understand your reluctancy and some awkwardness that may come, especially when you will start touring with Metal Church for this new album. Oh man. Anyways, so your voice was involved in the making and the direction of Congregation of Annihilation, right?
Absolutely.
That's great. So, how are you planning to balance Let Us Pray, Rose the Boss, and Metal Church? As far touring goes.
Well, I mean, right now, it really comes down to it's simple as communication. Making sure that everybody knows, both camps know what's going on scheduling wise, so that there's no overlapping. And so far so good. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue, I mean, a lot of people do it. So, it's just a matter, like I said, it's just a matter of communication, and people being cool about it, Like they say, it isn't a problem until it's a problem.
oh yeah. But, well, I have a solution for you. It's simple. Get Let Us Pray, Rose the Boss, and Metal Church to tour together. That will be easy.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I'd last about a day.
Anything from Let Us Pray, even though you have right now a lot of things on your plate.
Let Us Pray is always on the move. It's, unfortunately, it had to take the back burner because, I've been working on the Metal Church record for a year. But in between all that, over the years, ever since the first record came out, we've had material written for another album already before that record even came out. But what ended up happening, especially over the freaking, the world shutting down, we ended up writing like 3 albums worth of material.
Whoa.
And it was a matter of like, fuck, we got to pick something, So about a year ago, we started just recording. And we do everything ourselves, and it's basically the band is just me and John now, and we do everything. Drums, guitar, bass, vocal, everything. So it's all been in-house. So we've been recording the record the whole time, and unfortunately, the vocals are the last thing that go on because I haven't had time to do it because I'm the engineer and producer of all the Let Us Pray stuff, so I have that duty. So that's what I've been spending the last year as far as Let Us Pray goes is all the music's recorded, but there's no vocals.
What are you doing, man? You're lazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I get so involved in the production of stuff. It's like I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to do the vocals for this shit. But you need to lay all that down first anyway. So, I mean, it's just a matter of getting that stuff down. But it's coming. It'll be, and, I think in the long run, it's going to be for the better because the timing and the attention will be better now because of all the other stuff that I'm doing that finally maybe people will actually take the time to listen to Let Us Pray, whereas before it kind of went under the radar,
Well, things have changed, especially after the COVID stuff.
Yes.
Too much music coming out, too many tours are happening, so I have no idea how people will able to digest all of this.
Right.
So it remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, Mark, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Give the best to the Rose the Boss lineup
I
and
will.
Metal Church. We
Absolutely.
are extremely happy to have you, to see you guys live. Hopefully you have Chicago in your plans soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend.
All right, you too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.